They told you CM Punk was untouchable. They told you that he was the one man in WWE who had the guts, the brain, and the grit to stand in Roman Reigns' face and not flinch. They sold you that story. Week after week, promo after promo, the machine hyped CM Punk as the guy who was finally going to crack the Tribal Chief's empire wide open. And then Smackdown happened. And everything they built up got destroyed in one of the most vicious, cold-blooded, calculated backstage attacks we have ever seen in WWE. Roman Reigns didn't just attack CM Punk. Roman Reigns sent a message. With Jimmy USO on his left, GUSO on his right, and CM Punk the best in the world left crumpled on a cold concrete floor like a piece of garbage. If you're not angry right now, you haven't been paying attention. Because what happened on SmackDown wasn't just a beatdown, it was an execution. And the worst part? Roman Reigns is smiling about it. The Bloodline is laughing, and WWE might actually just let him get away with it. So let's talk about exactly what went down, why this changes everything, and what comes next, because if you think this story is over, you are dead wrong. Stay with me, because this one goes deep. Setting the scene, what led to this moment. To truly understand the savagery of what Roman Reigns did to CM Punk backstage on SmackDown, you have to understand the powder keg that's been building for months. CM Punk came back to WWE like a lightning bolt. The crowd was electric. The energy was different. This wasn't just nostalgia, this was a man who left WWE feeling disrespected, burned, and betrayed, and came back with something to prove. And the one mountain that stands tallest in WWE right now, the one throne that matters, is the one Roman Reigns sits on. Punk didn't shy away from it. He stared right at that throne and said, essentially, I'm coming for it. Now here's what people keep forgetting: Roman Reigns doesn't react like a normal champion. He doesn't get flustered. He doesn't cut a panic promo. Roman Reigns strategizes. He sits with Paul Heyman, he surveys the landscape, and then he moves. And when Roman Reigns moves, people don't just lose matches, they lose their ability to walk, to talk, and sometimes their entire momentum. CM Punk, for all his brilliance, may have underestimated just how far Roman Reigns is willing to go when he feels his empire is threatened. The weeks leading up to SmackDown were filled with escalating tension. Punk was cutting some of the most razor-sharp promos of his career. He was picking apart the Bloodline, exposing the cracks, poking at Roman's ego with surgical precision. Every word was a calculated jab. The fans were loving it. The internet was buzzing. People genuinely believed Punk had Roman rattled. But backstage, they say, Roman wasn't rattled at all. He was waiting. The attack breaking down every brutal second. It happened backstage. Away from the cameras, or so Roman thought. CM Punk had just finished a segment. Word is he was heading toward his locker room, maybe running through his next promo, maybe in conversation with a producer. Normal backstage business. He wasn't expecting anything. Why would he? He was on his own show, in his own element, operating at the top of his game. That's when the Usos appeared. Jimmy USO came from one side, GUSO from the other. A classic Bloodline ambush, textbook pincer movement. They've done this before. To Daniel Bryan, to Sami Zayn, to Kevin Owens. The Usos are Roman Reigns' weapons, and on this night, they were locked, loaded, and aimed directly at CM Punk. Punk is tough. Anyone who knows the history of this man knows he does not go down easy. He tried to defend himself. He got shots in. But when you're blindsided by two men who have been operating as a unit for years, two men who breathe in sync with each other, there's only so much one person can do. They drove Punk into the wall. Hard. Then Roman Reigns appeared. And this is what makes it so chilling. Roman didn't rush in swinging like a maniac. He walked in slowly, deliberately, like a man who had already played this moment out in his head 1,000 times. He looked at Punk already being held by the Usos, and there was nothing in Roman's eyes. No rage. No satisfaction. Just cold, calculated power. What followed was a relentless assault. Roman went to work. Uppercuts, ground and pound, and then that devastating guillotine choke that Roman has been using to put people to sleep. The Usos made sure Punk couldn't escape, couldn't fight back, couldn't do anything but absorb the punishment. Security eventually rushed the scene, but by the time they pulled Roman off, the damage was done. CM Punk was left face down on the concrete. The Tribal Chief straightened his vest, looked down at Punk one last time, and walked away. No words. No gloating. Just silence. That silence was louder than any promo either of them has ever cut. Why this should make you furious: the bigger picture. Here's where I need you to really think with me, because this isn't just a cool wrestling angle. This is WWE storytelling at its most manipulative, and whether that's genius or infuriating depends on how much you love CM Punk. Roman Reigns just proved something that a lot of people didn't want to admit: he is still the most dangerous man in WWE. Not because of his championships, not because of his athleticism, but because of his willingness. Roman Reigns is willing to do what nobody else will do. He is willing to attack a man when the cameras aren't rolling. He is willing to use his family as weapons. He is willing to destroy someone's momentum, someone's health, someone's spirit, all to protect what's his. CM Punk played the game by the rules. Roman Reigns doesn't have rules. And that's what makes this so maddening, because Punk is one of the few people in WWE who feels real. His anger is real. His passion is real. His desire to be champion is real. And Roman just took a sledgehammer to all of that. He didn't beat Punk in a match. He didn't outsmart him in a promo battle. He waited until Punk was alone, ambushed him with his cousins, and put him down like it was nothing. The cowardice of that move, using the Usos, attacking from behind, doing it where there are fewer cameras, that is the act of a man who knows, deep down, that CM Punk is a real threat. And that's actually good news for Punk fans. Because Roman Reigns only does this to people he's genuinely afraid of. He didn't do this to Happy Corbin. He didn't do this to Sami Zayn before he became a legitimate challenger. He did this to CM Punk. Which means even Roman's actions are confirming what we already knew: Punk has the potential to dethrone the tribal chief. But right now, Punk is laid out, and Roman is walking tall. The USOS roll more calculated than you think. Let's talk about Jimmy and G for a second, because their involvement in this attack is not just filler, it's deeply significant. The Usos have had their own complex story with Roman Reigns. GUSO in particular has been through the emotional ringer with his cousin. There have been moments of rebellion, moments of heartbreak, and moments where it looked like the bloodline might fracture for good. But here they are, once again, serving as Roman's enforcers. What does that tell you? It tells you that whatever internal conflict existed within the bloodline, Roman has squashed it. He has reconsolidated his power. The Usos are back in line, they're back on mission, and that makes the bloodline more dangerous than ever. Because a bloodline with doubt is manageable. A bloodline that is unified and hungry is a nightmare for anyone on the roster. CM Punk was the test case. Roman essentially used this attack as a demonstration not just to Punk, but to the entire locker room. He was saying, look what happens. Look what I still have. Look what I'm still capable of. And Jimmy and G delivered that message with their fists. What happens next? 3 possible roads. Alright, let's get into the scenarios, because this is where it gets really interesting. Where does this story go from here? I see 3 roads. Road 1, CM Punk returns with vengeance. Punk takes some time off TV, kayfabe injury from the attack, and comes back absolutely unhinged. A version of CM Punk we haven't seen in years. Forget the philosophical promos. Forget the methodical chess match. Punk comes back swinging, targets the Usos first, dismantles the pieces of the bloodline one by one, and finally gets Roman alone. This is the classic revenge arc, and if WWE executes it right, it would be electric. Road 2, Punk gets a stipulation match. The attack becomes the inciting incident for a match where the stipulation favors Punk, maybe a no DQ match, a Hell in a Cell, or a Survivor Series showdown where the Usos are banned from ringside. WWE has done this playbook before, and it works. The crowd would be unbelievably invested, and it gives Punk a fighting chance without stripping Roman of his dominance. Road 3, the swerve, Punk finds an ally. This is the wild card. What if CM Punk, recognizing that he can't fight the bloodline alone, finds someone to watch his back? Who could that be? Seth Rollins? Cody Rhodes? Or, and stay with me here, what if the ally comes from inside the bloodline? What if this attack is the final straw that pushes someone, maybe G again, maybe even Solo Sikoa, over the edge? Stranger things have happened in the bloodline saga. Whichever road WWE chooses, the stakes have never been higher. Final word, the verdict. Roman Reigns attacking CM Punk backstage on Smackdown with the Usos is one of the most significant moments in recent WWE television. Not just because of the violence. Not just because of the shock value, but because of what it means. It means the bloodline is still the most powerful faction in WWE. It means Roman Reigns will do anything to maintain his dominance. And it means CM Punk, for all his fire, for all his brilliance, is now in a fight that goes beyond wrestling. He's not just fighting for a title. He's fighting for survival. The question now is, does Punk have what it takes to crawl back up from that concrete floor, look Roman Reigns dead in the eyes, and burn his empire down? I believe he does. But I'm scared. And that's how you know this story is great. Drop a comment below. Are you riding with CM Punk, or do you think Roman Reigns is just too powerful to beat at this point? Let me know. Share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this storyline is about to go places and you don't want to be the one who missed it.